Sam, what is a win over the Boks at Ellis Park? I suppose, given the circumstances, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's one of those places, if you ever are lucky enough to play here, whether it was Super Rugby or International, they're some of the hardest games. I know for myself personally, probably the two hardest games I've played have been at Ellis Park. That game in, I think it was 2013, I got 10 minutes into the game and thinking I'm not even going to make it to half time, and managed to play the whole game. So it tests you in so many ways, whether it's the opposition, whether it's the altitude, the crowd, the atmosphere, all the history. There's amazing stories, amazing results that have been played between the All Blacks and the Springboks at Ellis Park. So to do the job last night and to do it really well is very rewarding and very special. So I'm sure a lot of the guys will enjoy looking back at that in future times and future moments.
Was there an element of doing that for Fozzie, your coach who is facing a bit of pressure?
Yeah, it's something as players we always want to be really tight, really connected, and it's the same with the whole group. So whether it's coaches, management, we always go and prepare the whole week to go out and play well, but it's great when you do put a performance like that together when the pressure is on. Obviously we haven't had the smoothest of run over the last few weeks, so it was great to get out there and put a performance together. And we know as players that we need to be better, and there's still things that we need to work on. So we're looking forward to getting home, enjoying time with friends and family, but then looking forward to that next one in Christchurch.
Sam, presumably with your 136 tests of experience, you'll be asked to feed into this, I guess, another review that's happening. What will you say about where the All Blacks are heading under you?
I think the main thing, and we've always talked about this, and from my first test to my last one, we're always trying to get better, and that's the same, and it always should be the same. If we ever forgot that, I think it'd be a pretty slippery slope. So we're always looking to get better and improve, and that's right across the board. So it doesn't matter what role you have in this environment, we're always looking to get better, and it's the same if you're a head coach or Fletcher Newell being the latest All Black, everyone's looking to get better.
You were there at 2:13, off the bench in 2:15 the last time at Ellis Park?
Yeah.
Can you compare the last night to the two of them, or are they all pretty different, unique in their own way?
I think they're different, more the fact that the game's always changing, always evolving, looking at different tactics. I know Aaron Smith is a great sports watcher, so he went and watched that 2013 game again, and he reckons all our defence was just all shuffled to the sideline, where now it's a lot more dominated through line speed. So I do remember the first couple of tries they scored, I think Habana chipped and chased over Ben Smith and just made everyone look slow. He pulled his hammy after that, so that was probably quite good for us. But that 2013 game was just end to end. Both teams came to play. You probably have to check up. My memories might serve me wrong here, but they needed 1 point to. We needed 1 point to win the rugby championship. They needed to beat us with 5. So it just set the game up for expansive rugby, and both teams, did that. And looking at that game compared to last night, there was some similarities, but it's always hard. It's always hard playing South Africa, no matter where you are in the world.
You played under 3 All Blacks head coaches. How difficult is it as players when your coach is being criticised as much as Fozzie is and facing as much pressure as he is?
It's actually on all of us. It's never just one person out there as a coach or a player. We've got to do it together, and we always know when we are out there playing well together, there's so much work that goes in behind. So we've got to make sure that we always do it together, and the best thing for us to do as players is look at the effort. If the effort's there, then you can actually adjust things. If the effort's not there, that's probably the biggest concern. But over the last 5 or 6 test matches, the effort has been there, so that's the biggest thing that I'm excited by, and just seeing how much people care, and the care is definitely there.
It must be exciting having Test footy return to Fortress Orange Theory.
Yeah, I haven't played there for a while, so I know my wife's quite excited for me to be home and help out with the kids, but I'll try get over the jet lag first, and then get into a good Test match week.
Sam, just looking at yesterday's game, you guys managed to do a pretty good job of stopping the Springboks more, but there were a few sort of penalty calls there. Do you guys have a lot of clarity from the referee about what was going on?
Yeah, we're always trying to work out the best ways to stop it. Myself personally, I got penalised for lifting a leg, so that's something that you can't do. Making sure that we're in the right spot, right height, technique, all those things. So we're always looking to improve, and I got stung with a penalty there, and I think they came away with points not so long after. So that's something I've got to get better at, and being a senior player, I've got to drive that. So if we can all get better and improve, you take away that penalty, all of a sudden we get to apply a bit more pressure.
And, the obstruction call was obviously quite major in terms of halting a bit of momentum that the Springboks had earned at that point. I mean, how crucial was that to you guys, just to give you a little bit of breathing space?
Yeah, at the time it was probably 50-50. I thought he might have got away with it, but it's one of those things. I've never had a referee say to me, "Oh, you're in the wrong spot," or any of those things. It's tough on them out there making those calls, but I've probably got to be a little bit fitter and a little bit have a bit more spring in my step, get round him, and then make that tackle there, and then you don't have to go to the TMO.
How much personal pride do you take out of that performance yesterday as the leader to do it at Ellis Park with all the scrutiny around this team? How much personal pride for you, Sam?
Quite a lot, yeah. A massively satisfying win, partly because of what's been going on and building up to this moment, and then playing South Africa at Ellis Park as a one-off fixture itself is a massive challenge yet. What we've sort of been through the last month in terms of not performing where we want to be, and to be able to deliver in a big pressure occasion was massively satisfying.
You're close with Ian, obviously. How tough is it for you to see the criticism and the scrutiny around his job?
Yeah, look, it's going on in the background. I think amongst the team we're pretty good at not really trying to engage or read too much of what's going on outside. So it's actually a lot easier when we're in camp. You're just focusing on getting better and training each day and building up to the weekend. But it's hard when you know what's going on in camp. You know that it's a happy camp that's working hard, and you sort of sometimes feel it's a bit unwarranted.
Will you expect to have a say in this sort of process that Mark Robson talked about this morning, of evaluation that's going to go on when you get home?
Look, we're myself and plenty of the leaders are certainly available for the board or anyone who would like to seek our opinion. I think we're probably got a better insight than most. We've been in here and knowing footy and working with him day in, day out, so we're always available for comment.
Artie said last night, he's my coach, and I'm 100% behind him. Do you back up those words?
Yeah, absolutely.
With another test match 2 weeks away now, is it kind of unwanted distraction, the will he, won't he be there element to this?
Yeah, it'd certainly be. I'd prefer if it wasn't. Prefer if it wasn't going on. But like for the last wee while, we've been pretty good at sort of blocking stuff out and focusing on what's important, and we'll just have to continue doing that. And we'll get home, but I think we'll only be home for about 4 or 5 days before getting back together and preparing to play Argentina, and we fully expect to carry on with Foz as head coach at this stage.
Sam, you got a lot of experienced guys in that pack, but you also had 2 new starting props and debutant off the bench, and Kapur Shannon coming back and everything. How much of a how exciting was it to kind of have a bit of a feel of with your forward pack of being refreshed and kind of moving to another level?
Yeah, we talked about the challenge of the test match, and then for those guys to start in that test match, without a doubt the biggest game they would have had in their test careers, and to perform the way they did was awesome. Like, really stoked for those guys. Makes for some pretty healthy competition going forward.
Talk about the composure and the calmness when Bodie gets yellow, Andre kicks the 3, they take the lead. I think Mark mentioned it last night, it felt like there could have been a momentum shift. Just talk to the composure and the calmness of your group to stay in the fight, keep them out, and obviously take the lead back.
You just did something fly in your pocket.
Yeah, I
Zip
found
B,
that.
Zip B.
Yeah, I felt it on my finger actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow, finally done something.
was
It's
actually
gone.
playing with it.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
far out. About the composure.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Composure of the team. That
So you showed it right there.
Yeah.
You know, just
that's right. True.
Probably one of the things that I was most proud of, and I think that we can be really proud of as a team. I believe when you've, on a bit of a win streak or things have been going well and you've been in those positions before and come out the other side, the belief is strong. And I said last week the belief within the group is really good. We've had moments in the last month or so where we've been in similar positions and we haven't come out on the right side of them. So to be able to do that and show that sort of composure in that pressure moment with it all on the line was really pleasing. And yeah, just proud of that effort.
So you went through obviously a pretty tough period with the Chiefs a year or two ago. Were there lessons, people talked about winning becoming a habit, losing becoming a habit. Were there sort of lessons you guys took out of that kind of experience that you went through?
Yeah, it can draw some similarities, I suppose. One being that when we got over our hump with the Chiefs, we actually went on a run, went all the way to the final. It was almost like sort of breaking the shackles a wee bit, just some extra weight that you're carrying around on your shoulders, and you know that it's a sport in general, anything, sometimes the harder you try, sometimes the worse you can get, and that's such the balancing act of when things aren't going right, not trying too hard and overplaying your hand when you want it so badly. So hopefully, I didn't think we did that last night. We had a really good balance, and hopefully I think it's a massive step in the right direction. Last week was too, and then so to be able to make so many improvements in 2 weeks is pleasing, and the challenge for us will be to continue that improvement and put in a good one back home.
And what were the sort of the nerves and the emotions like for you in those last few minutes? Obviously on the sidelines at the time, but is it more difficult being there than being on the field?
Yeah, it's more difficult being there than being out on the field. But I was actually quite emotional when the boys, the final whistle went. I knew how much it meant to me, but it just sort of all hit me at once when the final whistle went, and the enormity of the occasion and the pressure and the fact we got it done. Just I think I've said a lot, just a lot of pride and yeah.
Hell of an occasion for Fletcher to make his debut. Just maybe a word on what you saw from him out there, and we spoke to him afterwards. He was on cloud nine. What did you say to him after that debut?
I said one of the great debuts, mate. And when I got to present his jersey earlier in the day, I said I couldn't think of a better place to make your debut, and the fact that his old man had made the trip all the way around the world to be there and share that moment with him, just so special. And you could see they were just absolutely buzzing. It always takes you back to sort of the time that you made your debut, but what an occasion.